I was trying to figure out the rhythm to Under the Sea.
Is that why I have that stuck in my head?
I was just right now?
Yeah.
I was like, like, but how does it go?
Yeah.
Under the sea. Under the sea. I don't remember any of the words. Are you ready yet? Jesus.
I didn't want it to fall on me. It feels
like that one time.
It's like, hey, what are you doing?
I'm coming in. Open up. I have been recording all of this.
Nice. Okay, so this is Tommy.
This is Jacob. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Imagine a world. What? How did this song go?
No. I just got out of my head. No.
What was the other one?
What?
So there was two songs. There was the Imagine song.
They both sounded the same too.
I know they sounded the exact same.
No, it's like funny too. Like when I went and watching it, because I grew up with this movie.
Yeah,
I knew this song was coming, and I was dreading when it started because that's gonna be stuck in my fucking. It's been stuck in my head all morning, and I just got rid of it. And I think it's because you're under the sea, bitch. Bitch.
My under the sea, bitch.
No,
what? Imagine that.
Bit.
Okay, guys, welcome back.
Hi, everyone.
No, but seriously, how does the song go? Imagine.
I don't know.
You're like, I don't want to remember.
I don't want to remember. Anyways, hi. We are reviewing the Pagemaster today.
The Pagemaster. Also, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Yeah, we are doing the Pagemaster from 1994. Four. I don't know why.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember 1994.
I don't.
Yeah, you were one.
I'm two. Yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of deep-seated trauma memory in there. There's definitely
something weird that your sisters were doing to you.
There's some kind of core memory that has created the man I am today.
What, like I was 8, so second grade, I was in Mrs. Darlene's class. No, Mrs. Crisp's class.
I think it's time to retire that shirt, bro.
No, I like it.
What? There's nothing on it anymore.
I know what it is.
Okay. He's wearing a t-shirt where the graphic is
faded away.
Completely gone.
It makes it look vintage. Come on.
I think it used to be a Spider-Man shirt.
Yeah.
Did I give you that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anywho. All right. So, yeah, it came out November 23rd.
Looks like a pixel moon.
Get over it. Came out November 23rd, 1994, right before my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Strange ratings on this movie because IMDb had it at 6.1. Metacritic doesn't exist.
No, it does not for this.
But then Rotten Tomatoes had a 21% tomato meter reading and a 48% audience score. So I was like, I hadn't rewatched this movie since I was probably a kid, and I definitely, as I was watching it, I was having weird flashbacks of my childhood of watching this movie because it was a movie that I did kind of rewatch a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a moment where like, oh, this is when I always checked out. Like I got to the music video, the fucking
the fantasy.
As you go into fantasy, I was like, and I'm over it. There's something about that weird fairy that it still kind of freaks me out.
Okay, but it's also really cool.
It is. It's a cool effect. It's a really cool effect, really cool looking. But there was something unsettling about it from my childhood, and still that is lingering in me today.
Dude, that's so funny. You know what mine is for the movie?
What?
Moby Dick.
Oh,
when he's coming up.
That is terrifying.
I even wrote a no. What is it? Moby Dick gives me anxiety.
Yeah. No, that makes
like weirdly
perfect sense.
There's actually in this movie. There's a couple really like for tense.
Yeah,
like the high thing is really tense.
Yeah,
like, there's a couple moments where you're like, this is pretty legit
because it goes from like 0 to 100
really
so
quick.
fast. Yeah, you're like, oh, and here we are.
When did that happen? Yeah. Yeah, this was a fun kind of like rewatch, and also considering our schedule's all kind of weird.
Yeah,
it was so nice to watch a movie that was only an hour and 15 minutes long.
Oh my god, yeah, it was.
It was just like, oh, cool, it's over. Like,
yeah,
it's done.
Like, oh,
nice,
cool. Okay, so box office wise, it came out. So this was a big commercial push, and I think because of the writing controversy and some other shit, also it's a children's movie. Most children's movies like this don't generally have a huge like domestic or a big like box office thing.
Yeah.
But it was number 95 domestically and 96 worldwide, but it was 94, so the worldwide is kind of moved around because of the movie that's a number one, and I can't remember what it was.
Lion King.
Thank you, Lion King. That's right, because Lion King had a huge worldwide release, and Forrest Gump was number one in the United States.
And everything I could see from the numbers wise too, internationally, I think this only really made it to Canada.
I saw.
Did you see something else? I only saw U.S. and Canada. Like, I don't know if it actually had like distribution everywhere.
Not everywhere. But I mean, Sweden, Argentina, Ireland, Brazil, Australia, El
Salvador,
Salvador,
all right, so
Turkey,
scratch
Philippines.
everything I just said from the record, Your Honor.
But I mean, what's weird is like with the Box Office Mojo that we followed, like I think it like only like at a certain point, I think it's maybe the mid 2000s that they really started following worldwide,
everywhere. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, what I mean, speaking of budget and stuff, what do you got? What'd you get for that?
So the numbers kind of vary.
It went over budget, I heard.
So the numbers kind of vary. So it's basically 27 to 34 million estimated.
27 to 34 million?
Yeah. I just found conflicting numbers on both.
That's a lot for 94.
Yeah, but also like we've run into this before. I love the estimated thing because I'm like,
yeah,
there's a paper trail. How do we not know exactly? But whatever. And then it grossed.
Someone's laundering money.
And then it grossed 13 million worldwide.
Ooh, yeah.
For an hour. Also, but even then, the $27 million budget for an hour and 15. I mean, I guess the animation wasn't cheap.
No, the animation wasn't cheap, but apparently there's also like a lot of stuff that just never made it to the final cut.
Yeah.
Like there's like stuff like I was reading like in the music video and also in promos, like into commercials for.
Did you watch the trailers?
No, I didn't watch the trailer.
There are flashes, and you're like, that's because I watched the movie and then watched the trailer.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's like, oh, that's a flash of something that is just not ever touched on.
No, this movie was like hardcore, like recut.
Yeah,
where even like Joe Johnston doesn't really like to put it on his resume.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. Really, so with 1994. How many movies did you see this year? Have you seen?
41.
Ooh, I finally beat you.
What do you got?
60.
Nice.
Also, a lot of kids movies came out this year. A lot of like kid and animal. Like there's Andre with like this little girl and a seal. There's the one with the little girl and the monkey. Like those are the first that are coming to my mind. But I was like going through the list. I'm like, that looks, and I looked. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that as a kid. Mm-hmm. Like just Little Big League, which is like this 12-year-old kid who, I was just like, 1994, year of the kids movies,
year of the monkey. Synopsis. Is that
yeah.
So for the Pagemaster, my synopsis is a head injury causes a boy to hallucinate talking anthropomorphic books while exploring a magical literary world.
Also known as the retelling of The Wizard of Oz.
It's amazing how many kids' stories deal with like some kind of
accident that sends them into another realm.
Yeah, but it's like, you knocked your head really hard. Yeah, you might be seeing shit. Like you got a minor concussion. Yeah. You totally do.
You may have almost come across the pearly gates there.
Yeah, yeah, real close to meeting God. But yeah, I just thought it was like, and I realized that as soon as he eats shit, I was like, man, there's so many of these movies where like something like physically traumatic happens, and
it's almost like when this formula. They're like, all right, well, how are we gonna get him in there? Oh, we'll just let him hit him on the head. Hit him on the head.
How are we gonna get him there? Hit him
on the head. Okay, well, how are we gonna get him? And then it's like, oh, okay, well. What if his clothes are so saturated with water and it's dripping that he just happens to slip from the puddle of water from the clothes that were clearly dry the scene before that are now? Anywho.
Whatever. Never mind.
Let's go into directors and all that stuff. So this movie, the live action sequences were directed by Joe Johnston, who I just said, who... Most probably recognized for, I would say, like Jumanji and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He also directed The Rocketeer and October Sky, Jake Gyllenhaal. That's early.
Yeah, and The Rocketeer, which I really want to rewatch. And what was the other one? Oh, he also did Hidalgo, which is actually, I remember really being good. That's a Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen on the horse.
Yeah, he's hot. The Wolfman remake, which I'm like the only person I think on the planet that liked it.
Yeah, I think I've tried to actually go back and watch it, and it just hasn't really like captured me.
Well, I think what sells it for me is it has Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins, and I'm like, cool, I'll watch them. Like,
he does. It's the Wolfman's kind of like a swerve because I feel like he does a lot of generally like more like family oriented or like drama stuff, something here and there, but like it's generally more, not horror.
I mean, the only thing kind of close would be Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I get you could,
but that's still that's like family horror.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could make an argument that's a horror movie, even though it's like an adventure.
It's got some horror elements to it, but like it's suspenseful.
That clip I sent you.
Oh yeah,
from
Jurassic World. I never noticed. It's like, dude, that person just went through some shit.
I never noticed that. Like Jesus Christ! Like seriously, it was a villain death. Like
yeah.
But anyways,
like, what did this person do?
Even Dennis didn't get like that fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, and he was the problem in the first one. Anyways,
oh man.
So yeah, that's Joe
Johnston. We have a hidden episode of Jumanji that maybe one day will get released. We'll see.
Yeah, that was a good episode actually.
I think it was, yeah.
Well, because we got a lot into the special effects stuff.
Yeah, I think that was also when we were like kind of like we finally were refining.
Yeah,
stuff
it's still like a 2-hour long episode.
Yeah. So let's go into the art director so he has two names. Oh yeah. Like in this movie himself, he is literally credited twice. Once for his name Maurice Hunt, and then again for I looked up. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. I looked it up. Peyote.
Thanks. I had no idea. I had no idea how to do that.
Peyote Hunt. Who for art direction, most people would recognize stuff that he'd done for like Rescuers Down Under. He did one of the sequences in Fantasia 2000,
Symphony Number 5.
Yeah. Which do you remember which one that is? I don't remember.
I've only ever seen the first Fantasia.
Really, you've never seen 2000? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And I only ever watched the first one for Night on Bald Mountain.
Oh,
because that's awesome.
Yeah. And then he's uncredited on Tarzan, which. It's interesting. I'm kind of curious how much he did work on for Tarzan then. And one of the ones that kind of stood out to me was
real quick. When you hear Tarzan, what do you think of?
Phil Collins?
Yeah, just curious. That's my first thought.
I can never remember how the song goes though.
Street rat riff. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, but like the one that kind of stood out to me because I forgot about this show actually is coming back right now a little bit if I remember correctly. But the Proud Family movie. It was a Disney Channel original.
Oh yeah, that is coming back. Yeah, I think it's aired. I think it's airing.
Already airing.
Yeah, I really want to watch it because Proud Family was funny.
Proud Family was hilarious.
It was really funny.
But I think they're focusing more on like the daughter and like her friends, and it's going to be a very like diverse group of friends.
I'd be down to watch it.
But this interesting thing is like, yeah, those are the two directors, but really the driving force behind this movie, it seems, was a producer and who is credited as a screenplay writer, which is interesting. David Kirschner.
Yes. Who, when it comes to writing credits, was a story writer for Hocus Pocus and An American Tale.
Yes.
Were two big ones.
And one of the ones that really stuck out to me, that I was like, what? He is the creator of Pirates of Darkwater. Whoa! One of my favorite shows when I was a kid.
That's crazy. I have no idea what that is.
I know. Well, I've talked about it before. It's there's the pirates that are on Darkwater.
There's Darkwater. Cool.
Oh, God. The main character, he has like a half-broken sword. They're trying to find like the 13 stones of the lost treasures to stop pretty much just like giant evil force to come. And there's like these other pirates that are trying to like get it to like become ties with the evil force and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It only lasted for like 2.5 seasons or so.
Was it animated?
It was all animated, yeah.
Okay.
I think you would have really dug it as a kid. You really would have.
But it's pirates.
Yeah, and it's like fantasy pirates. Like so, there's like magic and stuff and all that jazz. But the show was just like canceled on a cliffhanger, which as a kid.
Oh,
as a kid,
I remember this now.
As
What episode was this? Was it our reboot?
it may have been did I bring it up on the reboot episode? I kind of want us to go back and maybe do another reboot thing, like see what we did, and like maybe like there's some newer stuff that we want to do.
I would love to do another banter like that. That was fun.
I mean, gotta do one soon. I'm leaving.
Oh yeah, we did. There we go. Hey, we got our schedule.
Yay! But yeah, no, Pirates of Dark Water, fucking awesome. I wanted to. That's what I meant
that would
to
be
do.
perfect. Actually.
So like David Kirschner, he also like he's also like a lead producer on like the Child's Play horror film series, like all of them.
Oh
yeah. And
he's also producer for Titan AE.
Yeah, and he's also like done stuff with Muppets and Sesame Street, like Hanna-Barbera. He was actually appointed the chairman of Hanna-Barbera Productions in 1989, which is where he created the Pirates of the Dark Water, a show called Gravedale High, which I vaguely remember that Rick Moranis was like a lead voice in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the guy, he's kind of all over the place with his stuff. But like, so let's go into just really quick the other two writers that are on this, which is David Cassie.
Story and screenplay.
Story and screenplay. So yeah, David Kirschner and David Cassie are both story and screenplay. And David Cassie, the only thing I saw that like was like
A Man Called Rainbow.
I would say Severed Ties.
Oh, well, he was director of A Man Called Rainbow.
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what Severed Ties is.
It's a Stallone movie, an old Stallone movie.
Really?
Well,
Interesting.
Specifically, it's A Man Called ... Rainbow, which I just thought was funny because I'm like, Rambo's in a movie called A Man Called Rainbow.
Wait, I was looking at that. I thought it was just called A Man Called Rambo. Rain. Oh, it is a rainbow. I didn't even look at that. I just saw that and I was like, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole right now. That looks like that could have just taken me another like half hour of researching. Of just like, what is happening over here? But like Severed Ties, he was a writer on, and that was 1992. That had a really weird description. I don't even remember it. I don't know. He doesn't. I even like. I looked up his. He doesn't have like a wiki. I couldn't find any other stuff for him on the interwebs or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like this dude was just like asked to write this screenplay for the Pagemaster, and I'm just like, okay, cool. Yeah. And then he fought for his name to be put on it, pretty much. And then because also Ernie Contreras, who more is like writer for like the book that came out before it with Todd Strasser. He's got the screenplay writing on, but like I couldn't find any information like what, where, or why. But he has like writing credits working with Gravedale High and the Smurfs.
Yeah.
So Hanna-Barbera. So he has connections with David Kirschner.
Yeah.
So the whole like legal trouble here that happened is that David Kirschner, back in this time, WGA, which is the Writer Guilds of America, they don't have, they didn't really recognize animated features as part of like the Writers Guild for like anointing credits for screenplay writing. Mm-hmm. So Kirschner was like, well, I'm kind of the lead producer. I've been like, I help with, I should like have like the writing credit for this because he was like story and whatnot. And David Cassie was like, no. You hired me to write a screenplay. I want my credit on it. So it went into some legal troubles and controversial shit and whatnot. And pretty much the studios just agreed on like, okay, you'll both have screenplay writing credits. Yeah. Which I think is kind of, in today's, for today, Kirschner wouldn't have any type of right. And Kirschner could like prove that he like helped if he like rewrote or did any kind of like big changes to the screenplay, then yeah, he would maybe get half of it. But why Ernie Contreras is there, I could not tell. It was literally like in the controversy. They're like, and so the studio decided that we'll have David Cassie and David Kirschner share the screenplay writing, and we're just gonna just throw on this Ernie Contreras guy, and we're just gonna do that. And I was like, wait, what? Why? It's okay,
sure, why not?
It's just okay. Which maybe Ernie Contreras, he's the one that was working with Kirschner, and I don't know. There's a lot of speculation that can happen here.
Yeah.
But it definitely hurt its release.
Because of this legal issue? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I read somewhere, too, that this movie took like 3 years to like finally finish, which is also crazy, too, because if you think about it, because like I did the math and I was like, okay, well, if this was released then, and he's about 41. So that means that Culkin was 14. And I was looking at him, I was like, he's not 14.
It was filmed in probably like 89.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, so he was more like 10 or 11 because he's little in this.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I did the math on that is because he was nominated for a Razzie.
Oh, really?
For this movie. And I was
That's rough for a kid.
I'm like, don't give a 10-year-old a Razzie. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, God damn.
And then I think Costner ended up winning it for Wild Herb, or Wyatt Herb.
Wyatt Earp?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Razzie, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I just thought I'm like, who the fuck nominates a 10-year-old?
Yeah, right?
Like, you fucking asshole.
It's a kid's movie, for Christ's sake.
Jesus. Leave Kevin alone. I just thought that was funny.
They did leave Kevin alone. That's
Home Alone.
Oh! And thank you for checking in this week, guys. We'll see you next week.
I think we got our trailer promo thing.
God damn it.
That was good. That made me very happy.
What was also crazy is like I remember around the release of this, there was a lot of ad targeting to kids for this movie. Like there was like McDonald's toys, or maybe it was Burger King toys. There was toys. And
Remember the Backstreet Boy toys? And they're like superheroes.
I'm sorry.
At Burger King.
What?
I think it was Backstreet or NSYNC. It was probably Backstreet, I think. But like they like had these like toys, and they were like superheroes, but they all had like to do with sports. Like it was like he's like a basketball superhero, and it's one of those. There's a lot of stuff in the 90s.
Sounds like a fever dream.
I was gonna say, but also that's just the 90s for anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
For anyone that was born and for those that weren't born in the 90s. There's a lot of fever dream stuff. There was a lot of really...
It's like, did that really happen? Also, if that did happen, which I'm believing it did, I want to own that collection. Are you looking it up right now? We are so off topic right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, I was thinking about it. If we were going to follow like our usual format, this episode would have been done in half an hour.
Maybe. No, not necessarily. Because we still got all the actors to talk about.
Yeah, totally.
Oh
okay, they're real.
Save that for later.
Oh my god, one of them, what's the one, the guy with the dark hair and the mustache goatee? What's his name?
AJ?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. He looks like fucking Tony Stark. He looks like Iron Man.
It's either AJ or Mark.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna save this. I'll show it to you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is real.
No, I'm thinking of Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, Backstreet Boys.
Am I getting confused? No, I'm not getting confused with what I'm saying. Anywho, back on track. Yeah, there was a lot of like ad placement stuff in it that I remember as a kid. And like I had the book that was written by Ernie Contreras, and inside of the book it had like stills like from the movie, like for like the animation and whatnot. So like you would read like the narrative story, and then like in the middle, where there's like the pictures, like in your Braum books.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like the glossy pages with the pictures.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And that was all I cared about. I wanted to look at the pictures.
There's actually a lot of toys for this.
Yeah, no,
there's a Game Boy game.
Yeah, there was the Game Boy game. There was a Super Nintendo game that Fallon was saying that she played.
Right, yeah.
I think the end boss of the game is the dragon.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The dragon was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
It's actually a pretty cool dragon.
All of the art with this was actually pretty good.
Yeah, the art's good. It's just it's a little dated.
Yeah.
That's all.
let's do the actors really quick, and then we'll get into all of that. Yeah.
So first and foremost, starring Macaulay Culkin.
Who's that, Tommy?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's Home Alone and the good son and a good son, and he doesn't want you talking to my girl, and he's kind of a party monster with his Uncle Buck. That was amazing. I am very proud of myself.
I was about to add in the Uncle Buck, and you just took it right out of my mouth.
So fucking clever. But yeah. So
it's not like he's Richie Rich or anything. Hanging out with a robot chicken.
Writing his own American Horror Story.
What happened to us?
So yeah, it's Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. He's an icon in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And then
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, I was actually gonna wonder if we want to do him next or actually kind of put him last.
Only
because
yeah.
he's introduced next.
But he's also like the second. He's not only the librarian, he's also the Pagemaster.
The Pagemaster.
Yeah.
What does that mean? The Pagemaster.
He literally spells it out. He is the guardian of the written word.
Yeah, I just wanted you to say it. Also, I didn't remember him saying that.
He's a book wizard.
Yeah. I just kind of like the name Pagemaster because, in this terms, yes, but like a page was a different thing back in olden times in the fantasy times. It's like no, it's not. Never mind.
Okay. Also, so yeah, Christopher
Lloyd. Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit.
Addams Family. Anastasia, which I just bring that up because another voice acting credit.
Oh yeah.
And he was really great as Rasputin.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite movie, My Favorite Martian.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I'm not a serial killer.
Oh, that's a great one too. But he's really they made back in like the early 2000s, late 90s. They made a My Favorite Martian remake.
Yeah,
he's the Martian.
Yeah,
and he's hilarious in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's
good. He's a good alien. Just like he's a great Fester. He's just off-putting.
Do you remember him in Dennis the Menace?
No.
He's the escaped convict.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
And then One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I forgot he was in that until.
Oh, I mean, yeah, his older career. I mean, he's in Taxi Driver. The Taxi Service show? I can't remember. That had Andy Kaufman in it. I think it was just called Taxi.
For some reason, my brain's going Cabby, but that's not right.
No, it's not right. But yeah,
yeah.
That. He has 241 acting credits.
Yeah, if you know Christopher Lloyd from something.
Yeah, possibly, unless you don't watch movies, which.
It's like a Christopher Walken. Like he's just been around forever, and he may not always be the lead, but
I should work on a Christopher Lloyd impersonation. How would that look like? Great skill.
Well, so speaking of him too, when you first meet him as a librarian, I'm like.
He's kind of creepy.
He's really creepy.
Also, had super hard, never-ending story vibes.
Yeah. But yeah, like the way he I was like, okay.
Ooh, little boy.
Yeah,
come to my library and here we are. I know what you need. A book for me to give you.
I'm like, Kevin, if he pulls out a bottle and a cloth.
Why do you keep calling him Kevin? Stop calling him Kevin. His name is Richard.
I'm like, if you see a bottle and a cloth, run, dude, run. Yeah, it was just really in his face.
He's very intense.
Yeah,
I can see, especially this kid that's terrified of everything. This is like his nightmare happening.
He had like the bad guy mustache, and goatee.
The mustache.
Yeah,
So we'll go into voice acting next. Patrick Stewart playing Adventure, recognizable from probably Star Trek and X-Men. He's terrifying in the movie Green Room. He plays the lead Nazi.
I forgot about that movie. That movie's great.
Oh, that movie is so tense.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
For voice acting, I put American Dad.
He's the
boss or the head of the CIA.
When I think of Patrick Stewart, I think of Extras.
Mm-hmm. Because he has like the really weird
he's him,
yeah.
But Richie Gervais's character is trying to promote like a script that he wants him to act in. But then Patrick Stewart starts talking about his script, and it's about a man with a superpower that when he looks at women, their clothes fall off.
That's right. Yeah.
And he's like super creepy.
Yeah.
For my video game nerds out there, he is the Emperor in Oblivion.
Oh, yeah.
A fun little. I mean, it's only in the very beginning, but it's just. He's a really good emperor with that voice.
So he has also a huge credit list, 157 acting credits. At a certain point when I'm looking at these actors and I see that many acting credits, I don't even want to I just really want to in my mind just this is what I recognize him from.
That's what I usually do. Yeah. I just pick out the things that speak to me.
But it's I kind of as I'm just kind of thinking, I was like, man, I should have really tried to go down and look for more voice acting for him because he does American Dad, he's done that, he's done this. I wonder what other things he's done that we're just
not aware of.
Yeah. Let's go to Whoopi.
Whoopi Goldberg. What is she doing these days?
What is that with all the women sitting in this fucking circle? The View.
Oh, is she on The View?
I think it's The View or one of those.
One of those
ones.
shows. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch that
because she's got an opinion.
I don't watch that kind of shit.
Yeah, neither do I. But I would say probably she's most recognizable for Sister Act, Ghost. She was in Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
yeah. like a reoccurring character throughout Star Trek and Next Generation. And I think in Deep Space Nine too. Yeah,
she's in Deep Space Nine.
She started her acting career really like she fell onto the scene with the movie Color Purple in the mid '80s. But she also has 199 acting credits.
Like voice acting Lion King, she's one of the
hyenas.
Thank you. I can't remember what they're called. I mean, Sister Act is probably. I kind of think Ghost is probably my favorite Goldberg Whoopi role, just because she's really funny at like yelling at Patrick Swayze, like that no one else can see.
It was really interesting, like going down her IMDb list, because like
The Revenant.
It made me realize how many movies I had seen with her in, because like my mom was a huge Whoopi Goldberg fan, so like,
and you should be.
Well, yeah, but like just as a kid, like these movies that like I forgot existed. Like there's one where she's like coaching, she becomes like an owner or coach of the Knicks. There's one with Drew.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Drew Barrymore's in it, and I think it's something about boys. I can't remember the name of it. I didn't write them down because I'm just spiraling.
Kissing
now.
in Cars with Boys or something like that.
Something like that.
It's Drew Barrymore on the cover, like doing that face.
Yeah,
I think it's like Kissing Boys in Cars or something like that.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just like Jumpin' Jack Flash, you know.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. And then to top it off, let's do you want to? Oh, I guess we can do an honorable mention, but after Frank Welker.
Yeah, who's the third book, Horror, who's just a really prominent voice actor. He's one of those guys you've heard your entire life.
He has been Fred in Scooby-Doo since the beginning.
Yeah. He's also a main voice actor for the Transformers franchise. He plays a couple different of the, I think, Decepticons.
Yeah, he was
Starscream.
He was the first.
And he was the first Megatron.
Yeah, he was the first Megatron.
Yeah, and then like his Starscream and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. He did the voice of the Gremlins in Gremlins. And some
did he?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. Oh, fun.
Well, he was one of the people that did that. He's also voiced in Inspector Gadget. Did you write down how many acting credits he has?
It was ridiculous. It was like how many was it?
877.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus. But that's what
voice acting.
Voice acting, yeah. And he is very much just he's a voice actor.
That was actually he's the voice of Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm, yeah. That was one thing I really liked was in that the making of the quick little flash of seeing him do horror.
Yeah. And
I was like, yeah. And with his little fucking mustache, I was like, that's a young Frank Welker, and I like it.
Well, I was to say horror was probably like one of my favorite characters.
Dude, rewatch it, was like horror was my favorite character.
He was so funny. He was just really cute. Like, he was really endearing and very sweet and just funny. Like,
and the one thing that I loved about it was like, well, all of these characters kind of have like their whoever they are, their genre, and then it's like inverted for personality in a way. Mm-hmm. So like you would think horror is gonna be like this big scary one, and he's like, no, he's timid and he's scared, and they have sad endings.
And you think like fantasy would just be super nice, but she has like an edge to her, and then
adventure you think would be like
super brave, but he's kind of a coward.
He's very and just dumb and
stupid.
Yeah. But like even like with horror, like I remember as a kid really connecting with like the whole like being like feeling alone. Like he felt very alone and like wanted friends. I don't know why I always felt like I just was a very like alone kid, even though I had like my cousins around me and like a lot of people. I always felt very distant from people, and I connected with horror in a very big way. What?
I was gonna say, oh yeah, it was the same, I think, and I was just like, we're sad children.
We were just sad children. We were just sad. We needed therapy.
I didn't want to open up that can of worms. Some honorable mentions.
I think Ed Bagley Jr. is really the top of the list for that.
Well, then Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, that's right. The other dude.
And the other Star Trek person.
Yeah.
And
because I didn't write down the honorable mentions. I was like, I'll remember these.
And then another one is a huge name in the voice acting community, Jim Cummings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've also heard your entire life.
Yeah,
another 800 acting credit kind of guy. Like
he did the voice of Long John Silver, right?
Yeah, he was Long John.
And so yeah, he does the voice of Pete in the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah,
which it was interesting. Is like when he started
does a lot of DC stuff too.
Yeah, when he started to talk, I was sitting there, I was like, why does this pirate sound so familiar to me?
What is so endearing and charming about Long John Silver? He always is. And I remember in the book, because I think the only one
You've read Treasure Island?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I had to do it for school. And I remember really liking it. It's quite a book, but
yeah.
Even there's something very endearing about Long John Silver as a character.
I think it's because his charisma. He's just charismatic.
Well, because like think about it. So in this, even though it's like a quick little bit, he's like charming and But then even in Treasure Planet, Tim Curry in The Muppet, like he's always like a very like the rogue with a heart kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's something really endearing about Long John that I really like him as like a literary character.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
because he's the best.
He has a soft spot for Jim.
He's like, kind of like in the Pirates world. What's his name? Jeffrey Rush's character.
Oh, Barbossa?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought that was just, I know we're kind of jumping ahead, but even, did you notice they basically did Treasure Island with Jim, like,
yeah,
Richard was Jim?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I never noticed that before. That was interesting.
No.
Probably because when I saw this movie, I hadn't read.
No, actually, a really great thing about watching this movie now as an adult is like seeing, like really being able to make all of the like literary connections.
Well, even when they're walking through the library, because the entire thing is like this world inside the library, looking at the books on the bookshelf.
Yeah, and like all of the names.
I saw Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, cool. Like I actually have like a reference point for this.
Yeah, it was when at the very end when like one of the books is falling on Richard and he's like picking it up. It's Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my,
it's funny. Like,
God.
Yeah, some of them were really like tongue in cheek in your face, but like some of them were kind of like, oh, he's got a Atlas Shrug off of him. Oh, clever.
That's not what that book's about anyway.
No, but you know what I mean.
Okay, well, what did you find for reviews?
So yeah, like you said earlier, there was no Metacritic, so actually it was fun. I had to like kind of deep dive and find some, and then make my own positive, negative list, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my positive, James Bertolini at Real Reviews. This clever, often engaging, and always fast-paced motion picture uses the visual medium to encourage its viewers to reach out with their imagination. Mixed by Brian Lowry at Variety. Built on a wispy premise, better suited to the realm of TV. Pagemaster plays like a slickly produced afternoon special. And then Christy Lemire at ChristyMeyer.com. Pagemaster is the kind of movie first grade teachers would have popped into the VCR in the 90s to kill time on a rainy afternoon.
Or if they were hungover.
Bad teacher. But with the mixed one, I was a lot of reviews that I did read really ripped this apart, and I had this weird realization about it. I think they ripped it apart because it was actually in theaters. If you put this in the lens like Halloween Town or any of these,
like it was going to be a Disney original or a straight
on
to
Disney
VHS.
Channel, like that kind of thing. This movie's fine for what it is. It is completely fine. Putting it in theaters, like also it's an hour and 15 minutes long, and going to pay. At the
time it was like $7.
It's a little.
I ain't gonna pay no $5 to see no movie.
Why that voice? Why was that the voice? Anyways.
I don't know.
But you know what I mean? Like Halloween Town has this, and I really think of that as an example because Halloween Town has this love for it. Like I love Halloween Town. Like it's a very fun Disney movie.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No. It's one of the better of the Disney Channel originals.
But it's just like okay, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like
I think Halloween Town actually did have a small theatrical release though.
Did it?
In a small area. Yeah, I
really?
think it did. That and Sky High did too.
Yeah, but Sky High felt more like a big budget thing.
Yeah, but Halloween Town kind of does too a little bit.
I don't know. Halloween Town feels like you're at Disneyland during Halloween.
Yeah, I guess.
But you see my point.
Yeah.
Seriously, if this was just on Disney Channel,
or
year,
ABC
when it
would have been released. Oh, was it Fox?
This was Fox, 20th Century Fox, so it's not Disney.
Oh yes, okay. Because Hanna-Barbera.
But it's like it's for
Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine animated kids movie. Like to all of our listeners out there that have kids and stuff, show your kids. It's still fun.
No, 100%.
It's a fun movie.
No, and I kind of feel like it it's ageless in a way. I think maybe like books are just kind of antiquated in a way because everything is so like technology based now. Like you just like get everything you want to read on an iPad,
a Kindle or iPad.
Yeah, like libraries are kind of a dying thing and whatnot, which sucks. But the interesting thing with this movie is like I did enjoy it a lot rewatching it, but it was definitely like. Yeah, like, I think you're really on spot on. Like, it just shouldn't have been like a theatrical release type thing.
It just shouldn't have been.
But I mean, also, I do know, like, from reading stuff that this movie there was more to it originally, and they somehow cut it down to just make it this really fast-paced movie as well.
Well, yeah, but it's just weird to me that these critics are out there like I'm like, what were you going to watch?
Well, I mean, okay.
It's not Shawshank Redemption, like.
But like also, like I was talking about, like there was a big ad push for this film. Like this movie was supposed to be like.
Oh, so you're saying like because they shoved it down your throat, it was going to be this next epic Lion King?
Yeah,
or
that's what it was being presented as.
I guess Lion King came, but you know what I mean.
It was being presented as this much larger thing because it was super ambitious, bringing like live action and animation together in a fun way. It had like one of the biggest child stars on the planet in it, Macaulay Culkin, and like it was being promoted like this fucking music videos. Like we got this music video for it. We got we got this, we got
video games, we got toys,
we got all this stuff. Come watch the fun movie. And then it's this movie where you're like, oh, okay,
that was it. For also being an hour and 15 minutes long, this movie feels long, but in a good way.
I don't know. It felt like it clipped along well enough for me.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it's only taking out of your day, but it feels like you got a lot of stuff happening.
There is a lot of stuff that is happening because it does clip along like that. Because it literally goes from just like point A to point B. There's really not much character development. The little character development there is happens in quick lines and quick moments.
Well, then also like I have to say something impressive about the animation too. Just I noticed there was a couple like
ink on duties.
Yeah, but they did something that I thought was really cool. Like even when he falls down in the dragon, if you look, you can see that the wand is already there before he lands. And it plucks him, and then it's not like he like do, and then he just happened. You see it before he lands, and there's a lot of that where they really paid attention to
detail. Yeah,
that's there already, and then they're going to interact with it. It's not just going to appear like a lot of cartoons. You know, it's like they're not going to know. They're not going to see that. You know.
Yeah,
I just thought that was kind of cool.
So, what would you say the theme of this movie was?
Seeking medical attention after a head injury.
A child abuse?
It's kind of coming of age, finding your courage.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily really coming of age. I mean, it is, because coming of age, I mean, that's just a very, broad, statement. But I really think it's like the bravery is kind of like the overarching theme for this.
Stop being a weenie. Yeah. It's kind of a huge weenie.
Yeah, he is.
But he had a sick bike.
Also, his statistics about like the ladder and the household thing, and he added together. I'm like, that's not how statistics work, kid.
But he had a sick bike.
Oh, like how he had it all like his cool. Like protection and his like fucking
and
robot
shield.
suit.
It had a shield on it. I'm like,
did you notice that it was like beeping as he was driving? Like, just like fuck.
Yeah, man, that was a sick
bike. Kids just fucking screaming for her beating.
That's basically what the dad says too.
Yeah, I know,
more or less.
Oh yeah, the dad's Ed Begley Jr. by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like it's finding like bravery.
Yeah,
and he has to go through these like challenges
because that's like his heroes. It's his hero's journey. It's like
the entire movie spelled out for you in the very beginning.
Oh, 100%.
There's nothing. It grabs your hand and it's like, all right, let's go.
Because it's a kids. It's a fucking kids movie. Star Wars is for kids.
I love how I nerd rage texted you about that podcast thing. I listened to a podcast and they said the best fight was in the throne room in Force Awakens or whatever the fuck.
No, Last Jedi, and I actually have a rebuttal. That's a different conversation. Anywho, Oh god damn it, where was I? Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's
His
a
hero story.
It's a kid's movie. It's a hero's journey for a kid, you know, and like you said you watched it a lot when you were a kid. So there was a part of it where you're like, oh yeah, I want to find that bravery too, you know. But I'm pretty sure you're also watching at the beginning. Some kids will relate with Richard, you know, and like I love at the very beginning when like the thunder, like you're like seeing like the little snippets of his room, and it's like he has like the no smoking sign above his fucking bed, and it's
High
like
voltage above the outlet.
yeah. Like, I like the fire hydrant, and it's like in case of fire, break glass,
In case of broken glass,
and
the
then next to it
boots.
the boots in case of broken glass.
Wear these.
Yeah, and which like this is like all like it's so children booky, you know.
Well, yeah, and like just to clarify, I don't like so. Yes, Richard Macaulay Culkin's character is a very neurotic child.
Yes,
who is scared of
everything.
Yeah, and knows the statistics for household ladder related injuries.
How old would you say he is actually though? How old would you guess?
I'd say like I was gonna say like 10 or 11.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say.
I mean, but with Culkin too, especially. Like,
I was gonna say like 11 or 12, and like he's just like the small, like
he's always little.
Yeah, he's it's like the 12-year-old kid that.
I think he was just a really small kid.
Yeah,
because even like him in Home Alone, and even in like Uncle Buck too.
Uncle Bucky was a fucking
no, totally. But I'm thinking
kid.
about his brother. What's his?
Which one?
The one that the other, like the ones that have been in more stuff.
Rory? Because
there's the one. Who's the brother in Home Alone?
I mean, both of them are in it.
They're both in it? Both of his brothers?
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about the one with the glasses, though?
Yeah.
That's Rory. Rory
okay, and what's the other one?
I can't remember his name.
That one, he's in Signs. No,
that's Joaquin Phoenix.
No, but he has kids. One of his kids is one of the Culkins.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's the younger brother. Younger
one.
brother. That's the one that he's in Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
No, Rory.
It's so hard because I'm sorry, Culkins, but you all look so alike. I can't, especially and when you're young, I don't know which one's which.
All right. Anywho, let's listen. Yeah.
I completely lost my train of thought because I'm thinking about the Culkin kids.
You were talking about how Macaulay Culkin is just a small kid.
I was gonna say, compared to his like brothers when they were younger, he always just looked smaller to me. I think he was just a small kid.
I think he was too.
So it's kind of hard to gauge.
Yeah, he was a late
was.
bloomer, probably.
Yeah,
you know,
like you just always looked little.
And same like so did Elijah Wood, and they always kind of had just like a young look to them. You know, that's why him and Elijah Wood played so well off each other in The Good Son.
I still need to see that.
It's tense. He's scary. He is.
It's like
terrifying.
It's like The Bad Seed, right? He's like a sociopath, right?
Yeah. Like half the movie.
Oh, you've never seen The Bad Seed?
No,
the original. Like, yeah.
No, like half the movie, he's trying to kill Elijah Wood.
Okay, yeah. So it's like it's a boy version of Bad Seed, I guess. Because Bad Seed, it's a black and white. That's the daughter.
Oh, the old black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she drowns a kid to win because he won the race, like at the picnic. And she like kills him for his medal. Like, whoa! And it's the mom dealing with some dark shit coming from her daughter.
So yeah, I mean, like, I kind of pointed like I drew kind of like a quick little like point by point thing of like what Richard's journey is once he actually kind of gets into the animated area, like when it's actually animated.
But right before that too, just I just wanted to bring up the animation of the paint coming alive and swallowing him and like splashing and turning everything into a cartoon it's actually pretty cool. It's aged a little. It's aged, but it's still pretty.
The cross between live action and animation, the computer generated animation, very much outdated, but it looks cool. You know, let's say it was a cool concept.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when the Beauty and the Beast in the ballroom. Yeah. Like that was crazy at the time. Me and my parents will talk about when they went to go see that with me. They were like, we had never seen anything like that. Like that kind of like pan and everything. And it's like it's not that cool, but it's like still
well, I mean, to get what we have today, we had to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And it's like, it's fun to see where it came, you know, how it it's cool to always go back and see the evolution
Yeah.
and where it came from.
So Richard, when he like wakes up, like
I like how he immediately acknowledges that he's a cartoon.
well, I mean, yeah, I would.
No, but there's no denial. There's no. I'm a cartoon.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like that's like what the whole thing of this movie being so quick on the beat.
There's no time for that.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, it's like and he's a kid, and also as with it's a fucking kids movie. Like if he just accepts it,
The audience accepts it.
we just accept it.
Yeah.
So he gets quickly introduced to adventure.
Moon Knight.
Um,
I'll stop doing that. Sorry.
Gets quickly introduced to adventure and fantasy, and then we meet horror quickly outside of the first horror. Fucking adventure when he's talking to Richard, like telling me, "Oh, I know where it is," and his like pants fall down.
I'm naked.
Oh, I'm naked.
It's
like,
funny. Yeah, it's actually like a really funny movie.
The bits with the books are the best part of this movie, in my opinion. Their banter and like all of their stuff with them each other.
They saved this movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're the writing for their dialogue and their banter. You're 100% correct. It's very funny.
Yeah.
And it's also like pretty on the nose, but it's pretty clever. Like even like, I mean, like we already said, horror is probably the funniest out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, okay, like that's kind of
in our opinion.
Yeah, I mean, because like, so when I was a kid, I remember having this flashback when I remember really liking horror because he was goofy, and I connected with the goofiness and the sadness because I was a sad kid,
as we discussed.
And then adventure frustrated me because I felt like adventure bullied. I mean, didn't feel like he does. He bullies horror.
Yeah, he bullies horror.
But then fantasy annoyed me.
Why?
I don't know. I just
Tell
didn't.
me about your mother.
But I remember like just not really liking fantasy that much as a kid, and like we were rewatching it, I was like, yeah, okay, that's fantasy. Like I
really liked it.
There was a lot more like little things that I noticed now as an adult that I was like, oh, that's actually kind of funny. Like I think one of the like her pulling up her panties the entire time.
I gotta fix my Little Mermaid underwear.
Yeah, that was good. I don't know if you fully caught this, but when adventure and fantasy kiss in like the cave,
she had to fix her pantyhose again.
she had to pull her panties. I was like, oh, her panties dropped with that kiss. Hello.
She socked the shit out of him.
Yeah, I know, because he also got he
Kiss without.
he came a little too forward.
Well, that's
afterwards.
what I was gonna say about the humor too. Is like so right there. So he kisses her, and then he says, well, "How about we curl up with a good book?"
Yeah.
And it's like super sexual. And also, I've never seen books make out, so that was new.
At least you don't remember seeing books make out.
But it was like that, or even like when they're on the top of the mansion, and even he goes, "Come on, lad! Even books have spines." Just like
Yeah.
the writing was just kind of fun. It was funny with them, you know.
Yeah.
Or even like when you first meet Fantasy, I'm Fantasy, and she becomes like, you know, that's what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Like her, she's actually kind of a gruff,
Yeah.
abrasive person, but she
Yeah.
needs to be a fairy.
Because
So it
his
needs to
fantasy
be,
is supposed to be sweet and fun.
yeah.
And imagine.
yeah, like it was. And it's crazy too. Like it's I liked Patrick Stewart's performance too, because it sounds like him but doesn't sound like
I know.
him.
I was gonna say, it kind of blows my mind that that's Patrick Stewart doing that voice. Because like I think nowadays we kind of gotten more used to like with voice actors and voice animation animation for voice. You know what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
Generally, they'll kind of animate the character to look similar-ish to the voice actor,
yeah,
you know?
like Patrick Stewart in American Dad.
Yeah,
like it kind of looks like him. Just more hair.
Unless you're like a really like prominent voice actor like Frank Welker or Tom Lenny.
You play the character. The character
Yeah.
doesn't play you.
Yeah.
In a
you know,
sense.
I'm forgetting. Justin Roiland, who does the voice of Rick and Morty, you know? Like,
Troy Baker.
yeah, you know? It's
Barker. Baker.
Baker.
Baker, right? Troy Baker?
Troy Barnes? That's Community. Never mind.
I think it's Baker.
Yeah, I think we're right.
He's the Joker. But he plays characters.
Exactly.
And they're not modeled after him.
Exactly. So that's like, so there's kind of that interesting thing is like to see this like adventure who looks nothing like Patrick Stewart, but then like, every once in a while you get that little hint of like, that I do hear Patrick Stewart now.
And I think also, especially because Patrick Stewart is a prominent actor in the sense of, especially like for us and maybe our listeners too, you think a lot of people probably think Patrick Stewart, they're going to think
Xavier.
Picard or Xavier. Mm-hmm. And especially with Xavier, he's a very soft-spoken...
Yeah.
Logan, I will help you find the answers you need. And this is, I'm adventure. You know,
exactly.
So it's like
it's like people get used to. Like, forget like he is a performer. He is an actor. He
Yeah,
comes from theater.
I was gonna say, look at all of his beginning credits are all Macbeth and Hamlet, and you know.
Oh, dude, he's so good in the David Tennant Hamlet as Claudius.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, check that out.
Oh,
we still gotta watch that. Denzel.
Oh yeah.
It's Macbeth, right?
Is it just called Macbeth?
I think it's just called Macbeth.
Anywho. Yeah. Okay. So going back to like what I was going to do with Richard's hero journey.
Yeah.
Here.
Sorry.
And like I really think it's important to kind of like recognize that it doesn't start really until the horror, like the adventure begins when we're actually in the horror spot with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
He's gonna straight up let horror die.
Exactly. Yeah. His stupid scared ass can't fucking like run up and try to save one of his goddamn friends. I want to say fairy fantasy. Fantasy has to fucking step up and do it for him. You know.
Yeah, that's like good.
And I kind of start that. I put that as 0.0 because this is where it's like he's. Through this, like leading up to this point, Richard has been scared of everything.
Well, this is also the introduction of actual danger.
Yeah,
there's actual danger in this world.
First time danger is actually like, it's the first time he's presented
life or death situation.
Yeah. And then again, this is like moving towards the end of horror. Now that they're escaping out of the building, is when he hears the Pagemaster about. Trust in yourself. I am ObiWan Kenobi. Or, you know, whatever.
Use the Force.
Yeah, exactly.
Grab the vine.
Trust in the pages of.
It's a trust the word. Look into the books. Look for the books. I don't know.
Yeah, it was actually.
Look at the book.
Read a damn book.
even Richard. It's so funny to me too that this little kid named Richard. It's just such a name. Hello, I am Richard. You know, it's like
I am Richard.
Yeah, it's just funny to me. I mean,
I got glasses and I ride a bike with armor on it.
You're more like a dick.
Call me Rich. Richie Rich. Yeah. I was thinking about that the entire time they were saying Richard. It was like
I didn't even think of that.
But like, yeah, it's not until like he takes the leap with the vine is one. He's starting to find some courage. Well,
I'm going to argue with you on that. Just it's more of a leap of faith.
Yeah, but it's the first. You have to take the leap of faith first to then to realize that like, oh, I have the ability to do this.
Yeah.
So that's true. Like that's the beginning. That's one. Mm-hmm. So we have 0 to 1. He takes the leap of faith, and also like with the vine, he's fucking falling down. But like when he lands and he realizes he's safe, he's like, oh, okay, everything.
I can do things that I didn't think I could do.
Yeah. And then number 2 is when he steps up to Long John Silver.
Yeah. Okay.
Because even through the Moby Dick stuff and what.
Oh yeah. Well, the Moby Dick thing is just.
That's just like a passing
moment. I really want to read that.
Moby Dick.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
That. Have you read it?
Oh, I've tried to. It's hard.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's the language.
I was gonna say it's an age thing.
Yeah.
It's like reading like Three Musketeers. Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather just watch.
Well, it's even like reading I tried to reread Mary Shelley's Frankenstein not too long ago, and like even that's I don't know how I read that in high school.
I tried Curious Case of.
Benjamin Button?
Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh,
same fucking thing.
That's like written in like letters, like Bram Stoker, right?
Yeah, like almost like medical journal.
Yeah.
Which so it's like
cause it's diary.
Yeah,
that's how Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is too.
Yeah, that was just I guess that was just the thing because Bram Stoker is all diary and letters, and I find that really hard to read.
if it's captivating, it's captivating sometimes, you know. But anyway, so yeah, the next thing is after being caught by the pirates, Long John Silver, he picks up the sword and actually stands up to Long John Silver, and even like fantasy and adventure are like, hey, or you did it, or no, it's fantasy and horror, like, good job, Richard, you did it, you're growing a backbone, type thing. And then the last one is when he defeats the dragon, when he realizes,
so those are like the 3 trials.
Yeah. And then
so it's the leap of faith, standing up to, and then actually defeating, or like the 3.
And then realizing your own potential.
Yeah.
And then the message of it is like, you can find that in books for yourself, it's like you find adventure and you escape from the world in books.
I mean, I do like when he confronts the Pagemaster. That was funny.
I'm forgetting that part, actually.
Well, he's like going through. He just goes through everything that happens. I was almost ripped apart by a lunatic doctor. Made a slave by pirates and eaten. You hear me? Eaten by a fire-breathing dragon. They're all like, shut the fuck up. He's like, it's their god, basically, that he's screaming at. And then the Pagemaster's reaction is like, but here you are before me.
Exactly.
You're like, motherfucker.
It's like, you went on that adventure and you survived. Who's not scared of stuff anymore, kid?
What are these accents?
I don't know. I'm having a good time.
I mean, like, really just the saving grace of this movie is the books. They're funny.
They really are.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, even like just in general too, the writing for it, like, he is like, the Avengers like, hey, let's get on top of these books so we can see where the exit sign is, and points to the ladder. And then Richard's like, oh, I have like a thing of heights. I don't like them. Like, I'm scared of them. And then Adventure goes, oh, okay. And he straight up pulls out 28,000 Leagues Under the Seas, jumps to the chapter with the giant squid and goes, fucking climb. It cracked me up. He's like, what are you more scared of? Ladders or squids?
Yep.
Run. I just liked that you were like, and then he does it again with the hounds.
The Hounds of Baskerville.
Yeah, I'm like, Adventure's kind of a
well. The
dick.
Hounds of Baskerville he does on accident. These are kind of more accidents though.
Not the 20,000.
Not the I think I'm gray on that part of it. But like no, the Hounds of Baskerville. He was like, oh, let's see if there's something in here that will help us, and just not thinking about what he's opening is the Hounds of Baskerville.
Well, because they ask where they are, and he goes, we're in Baskerville. Take a look, see.
Oh yeah.
So it's also right. It was like weird. It was like what I don't really understand what happened there, but then
that's also one of the things, like, just have something happen
to get to
create an element of danger to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
They ran up, and that's when they go and meet Horror. So what were actually, I'm trying to remember all of the literary like things that we actually, not like just the books, but like the actual like visual things we see. So it's like we see 20,000 Leagues, Hounds of Baskerville, and then
Alice in Wonderland.
What's the Alice in Wonderland one?
He opens it up and the Queen pops out. Off with his head.
Oh yeah, that's way. I'm trying to do this in chronological.
Oh okay.
Then would it be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde would be the next one?
Yeah.
When did the ghosts one happen? Was that in fantasy? No, that was in horror.
That was in horror.
Well, that was just a ghost story thing.
Yeah, but you see ghost stories, but like right next to it is that Sleepy Hollow. So
yeah,
you're in the ghost story. Because I mean, Sleepy Hollow would be a ghost story.
Mm-hmm. And then as they're escaping and they go down.
Oh my God, that killed me too. Just the which way? Down, definitely down. Up, definitely up, definitely up. The horror was just so good. Just in his voice was just
dude, Frank Weller's fucking amazing.
He was so cute. Like, oh, look at him, he's smiling. That's a smile.
Yeah. No, just like when they're walking through the all like the physics stuff or the glasses, and it's like Macaulay Culkin or Richard's face like gets all distorted. Horror gets all handsome. It has like the humor of this movie is very much like a vaudevillian act in a weird way. You know, it's like it's like remember like the weird little bits that happen in Cool World.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, but not adult oriented.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like it's very much of a like the time of when there were animations that were like this. Like,
remember the Fever Dream thing? Cool World's one of those.
Yeah, well, we've reviewed that.
I know, but I'm saying, like, thinking back on it, I'm like, yeah, that happened.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, what was that art style you were talking about? Rubber.
Oh, rubber hose.
Rubber hose. Just like little, like, there's like just little like quick moments inside of like this, where it's like a quick, like a clown laughing at themselves.
Yeah.
But okay, so and then once we get into the adventure part, then
we have Moby Dick.
I really like that it was very delineated, like horror and then adventure and then fantasy.
And it was also just kind of cool to how it, like, just in general, like, they're just in a cartoon library, and then it starts spiraling out into an actual whole other world within the library. So you have the horror world, and then now adventure, and it's like this. It's almost this never ending. As many genres of books there are, there's a world.
It's almost like he's traveling through the library.
Yeah,
and
each section is
its own world.
It was a cool concept.
Yeah,
yeah.
They took the metaphorical idea and made it an idea.
And I think
reality.
also, I think the transition into it was cool.
Yeah, especially just like how, like, because then adventure. We get Moby Dick, we get Treasure Island, and then was there any other more for adventure stories?
No, because that at this point
would you consider Gulliver's Travels an adventure or a fantasy?
Ooh.
Or is that because that's the crossover?
That's the crossover. Yeah.
Where we're going from adventure into fantasy, where fantasy and adventure meets.
I forgot that's Gulliver Travels.
Yeah, because that's also one of my favorite moments is when Horror's acting like he's a pirate. And he's like, I'm a pirate. Woo, woo, woo. And then Adventure is like, who do you think you are? Like, fucking just tears him apart. And then, like, Fantasy's like, what did you say to him?
Well, it's like, and with the adventure thing, it really...
Okay, I'll go find him.
Moby Dick and Treasure Island really lead the forefront.
Yeah.
In adventure, which I thought was kind of an interesting choice for... I guess they probably did that because he's a pirate, so we want to do nautical.
Well, and, like, I mean, for one, like, the fantasy or adventure stories that for the 90s or late 80s that would be kind of more attainable, like in a story, or maybe more recognizable for kids, is kind of like Moby Dick, because the white whale, and then Treasure Island, just the pirate, as opposed to, like, I don't know, like, there is the quick, like, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but Captain Nemo in this fucking movie would have been depressing.
Well, not like Moby Dick is a happy good go read.
That's true, but like also
it's
like
about obsession and killing yourself.
When
basically.
you see when they like focus on Ahab, like you realize that Ahab is an insane guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what was like. Even that too, and I mean, the animation was actually, even though it's dated, it was cool.
He is a man obsessed.
He's obsessed. He's insane. He's my kind of guy. But even like when he sees the whale and then suddenly the filter goes red and he turns red and now the sea is green and though she blows.
Yeah.
I grin at thee, thy grinning whale. It's like...
That's actually a really cool quote. That the performance for Captain Ahab right
pretty
there
legit.
is fucking good.
It was actually really legit.
It was really good, yeah.
I would actually really love like a modern Moby Dick movie.
Oh, man, that would be interesting.
That'd be cool. Or a show, like Black Sails.
I don't know. I would want it to be more in like in the realm of like the Lighthouse. I would want it to be Art House.
Oh, like an A24.
Let's really get into the psychological bullshit of it.
Dude, like a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But yeah, so then we get into the
Gulliver's Travels when Adventure finds him and like
the fucking song.
Yep.
And I guess there's a couple in there because you have Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I think it's also a thing, like, I don't really like the fantasy section at this point because it just kind of starts spoon feeding you fantasy stuff.
You don't really have to like think about it.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh yeah. And also I feel like they made fantasy just seem so like, it's so magical and happy and perfect for everybody. And it's like, fuck this.
I think you're saying that also because, I mean, we like fantasy, but we also lean towards more dark fantasy.
We like our dark fantasy.
Like Legend.
Yeah, exactly.
Legend is fantastical, but it has a very dark side to it.
Yeah,
The bad guy's called the darkness.
But I do love that it does like its climax with fantasy is facing the dragon, which then makes me. Is that just a retelling of just the classic the knight versus the dragon?
Or is that supposed to be a specific dragon?
Or is it specific to Sleeping Beauty type thing? Or
no, because at that point it'd be Maleficent.
That's true. Well, I guess just Shrek.
Well, actually, I don't know the originals. I only know Sleeping Beauty through Disney.
That's
totally
true.
honest.
Yeah. I mean, but like now
I think about it,
like Shrek is based off of not the Shrek book, but the Shrek story. You know how he's like, oh, I got to go save the princess.
Yeah.
From the dragon in the tower.
Yeah.
They're climbing a giant tower, essentially. There's a dragon that's protecting the exit. The exit is their Sleeping Beauty, quote, you know?
Yeah.
So it might just be, I think it's just like a classic
dragon.
Fairy tale story of like the hero that fights the dragon type thing.
I think no matter which way, because it's such a reused story that I think it's just kind of an umbrella.
It's like, I'm actually like, I never really thought about where the origins of that story are, and I'm kind of curious about looking that up now.
But the dragon design was really cool, and it's huge.
It is.
It's a big-ass fucking dragon.
It reminds me of the dragon that is from that old arcade game that the kids are playing in Stranger Things.
I don't know that reference.
Okay. I can't remember the name of it, and I forgot to write it down. So, but like, there's also like, there's the knight, the skeleton knight, and he gets the armor from to fight it and whatnot. Yeah,
that whole thing made me think of Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's an episode, I can't remember what the deal is with it, but they go back in time and he meets King Arthur, and he's like a total weenie.
King Arthur is?
Yeah. So he like is trying to make him into a king. So first he is like, he can't.
That's such a fucking weird concept.
He can't see, so he wishes to like give him glasses, and then he puts on the glasses and I can see, I can fight, and he turns into like a big buff guy. And then he goes, and then the dragon like kills him, and then a skeleton pops in front, and then they wish him back to life, and I can breathe, I can fight. I don't know why it made me think of that.
That's hilarious. But yeah, that's Richard's journey, because, and then he, when he finally like.
Oh, and then we have Arabian Nights, the flying carpet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. To help with everything. Yeah.
Then he gets eaten, which I kind of thought Pinocchio.
I think it can be kind of a call to Pinocchio, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dragon, not a whale, but
Yeah.
And then that's when you have the Alice in Wonderland reference.
That's right, because he's realizing that this is kind of like when Richard is realizing that the books are his ally. They're
his enemy as much as they are his ally. You can use them to the magical power in this world is the books, and things can come out of them.
It's like, what is it? Through stories we find courage and how to be heroes, and heroes aren't afraid.
And then he finds Jack in the beanstalk, opens it up, and a beanstalk comes out, and
that's how they get to the exit. Yeah,
and that's when you have the whole like cuss out of the.
Yep. And then a very cute little.
Oh, and I don't know if we mentioned it. So yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, we did. He is
the Pagemaster.
He's the voice of the Pagemaster. And that's funny too. Like, yeah, well, because it's kind of the exact opposite. Obviously, Macaulay Culkin looks like Macaulay Culkin, but then the Pagemaster definitely looks like
Christopher Lloyd
as a wizard man. Yeah, and I did love his beard. It was like pages.
It reminded me
of like hair. It was like.
Oh, I didn't really put that out, but he also looked like Yen Sid from Fantasia.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I guess that's kind of it. Like, do you want to rate it?
I mean, yeah. Well, really quick, I think it's kind of cute to kind of point out with the very end when he's in the treehouse, because that's kind of like the
driving force for the books to help him is they have, as books in the library, they want to be checked out.
Yeah.
And taken home to be read.
And each book, it kind of has their own little arc as well, too,
I also was thinking about the Gulliver Travels thing. He thinks that Horror's dead.
Yeah.
And he has that whole, like, sweet moment, and then just, Horror's, that was beautiful.
No, I like at the very end with the silhouette, and he's like, and this story needs what does he say, like kiss goodnight or something?
Oh, and they like,
and then
okay,
yeah, it's like, not you fool,
I meant her.
But no, it's like, it's really sweet with him. Because he's afraid to climb into the tree. His dad's building him in a fucking tree house,
even though he's afraid of heights.
Even though he's afraid of heights, it's like, I mean, fucking maybe Dad of the Year award, because he's doing it even though his son's fucking not going to use it.
I think he's trying to I think it's a tool.
Yeah, he's hoping that one day,
help him conquer the fear.
But like, he's afraid to go up into the treehouse. So fucking Richard's been gone all day and the goddamn knocked out in the library. He definitely needs to go to the hospital. If you're knocked out for that long with a concussion, you might have some brain damage. Probably have some brain damage. Maybe
he was talking to books, and the books were talking back. They had faces and arms and legs. One could fly. Yes.
Oh man, you could argue that this whole also like one just like escape from trauma from the librarian. Anywho,
It's all defense mechanism.
Yeah.
It's all like a dissociative personality.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
It's not dark enough. We got to make it dark.
But like, like, yeah. So his dad like sees he's up. Parents come home to see him in the treehouse, and his dad. It's like he's got there. And also there was the cute moment of the books, and he's like, the librarian's like, just this once. I'll let you take 3.
Yeah.
Because also like he's trying to take horror, and you can tell that Richard's like, no. Horror really needs a friend.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I mean,
there's a lot of really sweet, like heartfelt moments. But it's so weird because I feel like a lot of this movie, it rushes to where like these moments really shouldn't be earned, but it's also happening so quick that you like it is kind of earned.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I went in like, especially after like before watching and doing the reviews and stuff, I was like, fuck, I really don't want to watch this. And then I was like, actually, yeah, I really enjoyed it again.
It's
like,
weird because as a kid's movie, I think it's really good actually for if I was like this the whole like the reviews of them, like there's like how it was a theatrical release. Yeah, like if in the early 90s and I was expecting this like really big like groundbreaking movie, I would have been like, that was it. Yeah, no, this is a fucking dud.
Yeah.
But I think I would give it Mogwai a wet Mogwai. Or is it more of a Mogwai for you? Or is it lower?
Yeah, it's a wet Mogwai. Yeah, I mean, objectively, I say for a kids movie, like again, if you have kids, have them watch it, see what they think. It's fun, know. I mean,
there's a lot of like the good fun, like good natured humor in it that you can enjoy as adult as well.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I do want to like really like there for depending on the personality of your child, there are some scary moments.
Yeah,
like Hyde is
terrifying,
creepy. Like, I mean, but also it's like. It happens, like you were saying, it happens so quick that, that fear is washed away. Like,
yeah,
he turns into Hyde. There's maybe a 3-minute interaction. Now we're in adventure.
And you start destroying everything. Yeah, and then they have to.
Then it's over.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not even like it doesn't sit long enough to really like I feel like marinate in the fear. So it's just like really quick.
But for a kid, that's a long time.
Yeah, but I'm just but I'm
you know
just
what I mean? It's like as we were kids, like that scared us a lot more because our perception of it was like this is happening forever.
Yeah, and it's the first time like we've watched it before, so we knew it was going to happen. I'm just saying like as if you have kids, I would say like this would actually probably be fun, but just heads up, there's a couple of creepy things in there.
But I mean, also we don't know what kids might be like. Fuck, this isn't 3D animation. What the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah. Well, respect your elders.
So you'd say a wet Mogwai though?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah,
I mean and that's my thing too. It's like if you're I was
gonna say if you're an adult like us,
and you like
if you're a big kid.
Yeah, and also if you just like we were saying, like you'd like to see like kind of the evolution of animation and never seen it.
If you're a literary nerd, this is kind of fun too.
I feel like if you're a real literary nerd, this might be too on the nose.
No, maybe.
You don't think so?
No, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
because they might connect. Like, I was that kid.
I'm not. Like, I guess a long story short, as I thought I was going to rip this apart, but I actually found more redeeming and enjoyable.
Yeah, I thought I was
gonna
have.
I thought you were gonna just shred this thing.
Really?
I thought I was going to have to be like the advocate for Pagemaster.
I was smiling through this entire movie.
Yeah, and like I got some genuine like laughs out of it. I
think it's because like since it's so animated and it's got really the books really their characters really saved it, as we've said.
Yeah, like they really did. McCall, I feel like Culkin could have been kind of played by anybody.
Yeah, no, it could have been
like
any
nothing
kid.
Against.
It could have been Sebastian.
Sebastian?
Never Ending Story.
Oh, yeah. Like nothing against like Macaulay Culkin. Like I said, the whole Razzie thing is fucking ridiculous. But I just think
No, yeah, 100%. Also, they're giving a Razzie to a kid doing a voice acting thing.
Yeah,
it's like
fuck off.
Oh my god! Also, really quick, just I have to remember this. When the parents are tucking him in up in the treehouse, the mom takes his fucking glasses and she's like, "Let's take him to bed." And his dad's like, "No, let's let him stay up here." She doesn't fucking give his glasses back.
I thought that too.
He's gonna have a panic attack up there because he can't see going down the ladder now.
Yeah, now he's scared of heights again. Thanks, Mom.
Anyway, okay, we should wrap this up.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Join us next week. We're doing James and the Giant Peach.
We're gonna do another kind of live action to animation claymation thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about how we thought about it as we were kids versus now. I don't remember really watching this as a kid. Now that I think about it, I think I remember it-ish. I remember it being one of my favorite books.
That's what we should start doing. We should start doing like if we've seen it before. I remember it being really cheesy.
I can't remember really.
So like I'll see what I think of it.
I think I remember liking the animation because it was kind of like it was the clay stop. Yeah, like they were the Tim Burton stuff.
Yeah, the character design's cool.
But yeah, so follow us on Instagram, Apple Podcasts,
Spotify,
Facebook,
wherever you get your podcasts. Get us Instagram. I really like it. And if you want to throw us some money on Patreon, that'd be kind of cool too. We're trying to save up money to get some equipment to maybe have cameras and third person guest people. So
spare change. Spare change.
Give me a fucking money.
And write in. We love to hear from you. And if you can rate us on some stuff, that would be great because then it'll help us get more exposure. Other than that, this is Tommy.
This is Jay.
This is Tommy. Jacob's
Mixtape.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.